All right, welcome back to The Hill. More scrutiny tonight for the proposed merger between the PGA Tour and the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League. The Wall Street Journal is now reporting that the Department of Justice will investigate over antitrust concerns. Meanwhile, Senator Ron Wyden, the top Democrat on the Finance Committee, is launching a, quote, wide-ranging investigation. Wyden sent a letter to PGA leadership expressing concerns about its tax-exempt status and requesting the risks that the merger poses to the U.S. on national security interests. Before we bring in the panel, we should note that Nexstar Media Group, the owner of NewsNation, is the majority owner of the CW network, currently airing 2023 LIV Golf season tournaments. Over to y'all now. Bob, it seems like Washington is getting their hands on this thing, and it could get a little tricky.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of lawmakers are upset because it used to be that you went after Saudi Arabia, and certainly Joe Biden on the campaign tour was very tough on Saudi Arabia. But as president, remember the fist bump? I mean, it's changed, and I think there's a lot of questions, legal questions, of whether this can actually happen.
You think there's a case here for the Department of Justice? Can, as an attorney, just sort of outline it and why you sort of think that way?
So we have to look at the agreement, but anytime there's an agreement not to compete, it's going to kick through antitrust laws and it's going to be considered illegal. You can't create a monopoly. And so we have to see the agreement. Whether you call it a merger or a partnership, it's the same thing. If there's an agreement not to compete between LIV Golf and the PGA, it's not going to pass the smell test. And I think it's shocking to even think about the amount of money that's being offered. That should never be considered. This is truly about the legal system and ensuring that we uphold our ethics.
Aren't all sports monopolies in some way, right? Like the NFL is kind of a monopoly.
But it's voluntary, right? So you have personal sovereignty to be able to, or personal decision to be able to join. But when you're making backdoor deals to say, I promise not to compete, and you're promising not to compete, that's when antitrust laws kick in.
And this sports washing, I'm sorry, but Saudi recently jailed a woman who is the mom of young children for tweeting. It was literally just tweeting about a Saudi dissident, supporting a woman who is currently already been jailed, even though she was the one trying to get women the ability to drive in Saudi Arabia. So as a woman who dealt with the Saudis in government, I think there's a lot of sports washing going on, and I don't want them to be able to buy the University of Kansas Jayhawks next. So
I'm surprised it's not a more bipartisan issue, to be honest.
I think it might be. I think it might be like going in that direction.
Yeah. I think once they get more information from the partnership or the deal that's here or the merger, I'll see more bipartisanship. I believe that.
So here's what one of the things Senator Wyden said today in his letter. If we could, the second full screen, he said, quote, I believe it's critical that lawmakers understand what risks this arrangement may pose to America's national interests, particularly with respect to foreign investment in U.S. real estate, such as locations neighboring military facilities or sensitive manufacturing centers, and how you plan to mitigate those risks. Bob, it sounds like he's starting to go down the road of CFIUS, which is basically the way of national security risks and interests, and that's when the White House and the Treasury Department gets involved. Sort of outline that for us.
And that's where the details are going to be so important, because we have not heard a lot of details of how this will actually work. And apparently LIV Golf's chairman, Greg Norman, didn't even know about it. So very weird situation. And remember, President Trump is pro-LIV. So that's going to make...
They've had tournaments at his golf course.
Absolutely, in Virginia, yes, recently.
So does it become a political issue in 24?
100%.
You just scoffed at me, followed by a laugh.
Because there's a lot of people that care about this, and a lot of people love golf, and so there's tons of eyeballs.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, when this broke, I was at my child's graduation. I was like, what in the world just happened? And then after my child graduated, I went on the phone and started reading about it. And my first thought was, how are they going to keep their tax-exempt status, right? Like, you're taking money from the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and that is another thing that Ron Wyden's brought up. The first full screen, if we can. He says, quote, it is incumbent upon Congress to review whether the tax exemption provided to sports leagues is appropriate in the case of a foreign autocracy seeking to acquire substantial influence in a U.S. sports institution for the clear purpose of trying to cleanse the regime's public image. I guess this just goes back to Washington is about to Washington this one, it seems like.
Let them.
Well, it's all about money, too, because the PGA basically had to back down because they saw how so much money that Saudis have, and that if this was a decade of litigation, they'd have to back down. So that's why the PGA is looking very hypocritical right now.
We should be very hesitant for all of this, international investment in the U.S. because we become beholden to other people, and you have less ability to speak freely, which we have fought for from our beginning.
Of the many things I find fascinating with this, we have no idea what pro golf is going to look like in 2025. None. For a major sports organization with billions behind it, no clue.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.